Okay, today we're going to be solving a quadratic equation. And suppose that we have the following. X squared plus 4x plus 4 is equal to 0. Now, the first thing to do is recognize that this is indeed a quadratic. So if we have this in standard form, which we do, we can recognize this as a quadratic because the highest term is squared. Everything's set equal to 0. So now, if our objective is to solve for x, so now there's a number of ways to do this, and typically the easiest one that you should always look for first is to see if it's factorable using the sum product rule, and then there's 3 other ones that are increasing in complexity. But let's go ahead and see if we can use the sum product. Call it the sum product method. This is the easiest and fastest one. And so the sum product method, the basis of this is to say, okay, so you need to have a 1 for the coefficient of the x squared term. So that's good. We can definitely satisfy that. Then we say we look at the last, the constant term, which is c. If we say it's ax squared plus bx plus c, the c is equal to 4. So what we're trying to do here is we're trying to find 2 numbers that multiply together to give you 4, but then also add together to give you the middle number. So in this particular case, you can say, well, 1 and 4 multiply together to give us 4, and they add together. Well, they don't add together properly. They actually add to give us 5, so that doesn't work. So we try another one. We try 2 other factors, and we can think of, well, 2 and 2 multiply to give us 4. And if we add them together, they indeed give us 4. So this is the proper, these are the 2 numbers that will allow us to factor this quadratic equation properly. So now at this point, we use those 2 numbers, and what we do is we set up 2 factors. So we say that the above is equal to x. Now, since these are both positive 2's instead of negative 2's, for example, we just write x plus one of the numbers and x plus one of the other numbers. And that set that equal to 0. You may notice this can be written as x plus squared is equal to 0. These are 2 equivalent things. So now at this point, remember, our objective is to solve for x that satisfies the original quadratic equation. So at this point, what this is telling us is that we have 2 numbers that multiply together to give us 0. So if we're trying to find solutions to that, solutions are where A or B is equal to 0. This is just the mathematical logical union operator. It says that either one can be 0. So either A is 0 or B is 0, or A and B are 0 if it's possible that they're 0 at the same time. Now, so in order to do this, we set x plus 2 equal to 0, and we find what x value on that A part will satisfy the this relationship that says that either one of them needs to be equal to 0. So in this case, subtract 2 from both sides. These cancel, and find that x is equal to negative 2. And for b, the or part of it, the b part, we can do the same thing. And we should get the same answer since the factor is exactly the same. So I'm not going to do that again. I'll just go ahead and write down that answer. So now the way that we report this is that x is equal to negative 2. And if it asks you about this idea of multiplicity, just the number of times the root repeats itself, it just means that you have this times this, basically x plus 2 squared. Then you would write the multiplicity is 2, or it's a repeated root. because there's more than one of them. It's a multiplicity of 2, but the solution is x is equal to minus 2.